Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Highruler, and today we're talking about Aliens Fireteam Elite, and more specifically the Kotaku article that just came out a few days ago talking about what this individual feels is the issues with Aliens Fireteam Elite and how it only has fewer than 800 people. And it's been interesting to see kind of how this has spread, because ever since the Kotaku article, there's been more articles coming out. I saw one recently on Screen Rant talking about how Aliens Fireteam Elite is dying, and it seems it's pretty funny how like one article can spawn so many more, you know, kind of using the same talking points. And it's really interesting to see that this article was kind of, I guess I want to say, propping up Back 4 Blood, which it doesn't need to be propped up. They've had a very successful launch off of the back of Aliens, right? And I feel like nowadays we as a gaming community or a gaming society really look at a lot of these things as the next biggest thing, right? Like the next biggest live service title or games as a service title, right? And I feel like in this article in particular, the author actually kind of uses that as kind of their framing for how they're viewing Aliens, right? There's a lot of talk of content. There's a lot of talk of not having content, how content needs to be developed faster. And because of that, without having all those things in the game, players are leaving. And in essence, I don't actually disagree, right? When games have more content coming on a more frequent basis, players are actually more likely to come back at a more frequent basis. And with sales and stuff like that, you're actually more than likely to get newer players into your game. In essence, it's actually true, right? But the problem with that is you're looking at Aliens as a live service title similar to a lot of the other live service titles that are ongoing right now, right? Big budgets, kind of ongoing storylines, ongoing story arcs, and because of that, you know, you have monetization in many different ways, whereas Aliens doesn't really have a lot of that, right? So Aliens, for anyone who doesn't know, has 4 campaigns each with 3 missions each. It isn't a lot of narrative content there. It's very short, but I will say the missions do feel fully developed, right? And because of that, there isn't really an ongoing basis of let's get more content here, let's get more things here in order to develop the story further. Now, that isn't to say that there won't ever be, but currently right now the story does have an end, and obviously a lot of us would like to see it moving forward, expanded, and kind of, you know, introduce more elements to it. Now, with that being said as well, it does seem like Aliens is kind of ripe for the picking when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I think a lot of people would love to see more things added to the game, but based off the roadmap only has 4 things on it, 4 content drops over the course of a year. Now, to me, that doesn't seem like a very live service title. That seems like a game that you play, you pick up, you progress, you have as much fun as you can until you get bored, you put it down, and you come back for the next free content drop. That, to me, seems like a pretty ideal approach to Aliens, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think nowadays there's an expectation that games always have to be continuously adding stuff, but games that don't do that are okay as well. And I think we need to get back into the mode of appreciating games who will say, okay, we want you for this amount of time. If you have a lot of fun, great. Put it down, come back to us, and we'll give you guys something new to kind of chew on, right? When you look at Aliens itself, there isn't a lot there when it comes to build variety or things you're picking up or secrets or exploration. And because of that, you're not actually giving players a lot to kind of give them on a day-to-day basis, right? A lot of the live service titles keep you kind of in that gameplay loop through loot, gear, build variety, and kind of the experimentation through that. And without that, Aliens doesn't actually have a lot of that to kind of keep you in the gameplay loop, aside from speed running and just kind of like playing on higher difficulties for the fun of it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of players aren't going to necessarily go through that on a day-to-day basis. They're going to play it, progress, go as high as and hard as they can, and then put the game down. Now, that isn't to say as well that Aliens is without faults, you know, and you can't criticize it, because you can definitely criticize Aliens. I think launching a multiplayer game without quick play in 2021 is probably one of the worst decisions that I've seen a game make when it comes to an online multiplayer game. I think that probably did a number on them, and I definitely think it hurt them quite a bit, though obviously with that being added recently in one of the latest patches, you know, they've looked to rectify that situation. Now, let's talk about what is exactly going on in this article in depth, right? So once again, it really does seem like this author really does like the game. It really does seem like they want to play more of the game, and this is their call to arms to be like, guys, we want more content. And once again, I don't actually disagree. I would love more Aliens content. I would love for them to continuously add more things to do, more things to get, more things to explore. And we've seen through data mining that there's going to be new classes, new weapons, new things to play with and have fun with. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it is going to take some time. When you only have 4 DLC content drops within a year of the game launching, that does mean you should only expect these things to come alongside those content drops and maybe not anything in between those. And with that being said, said, for me personally, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, if the next content drop is in December, that means I probably won't pick up the game that often until December, play through what they drop us, and then probably go and play something else until the next content drop. And there's nothing wrong with that. Once again, we have to stop looking at every game, even if it is tied to a very good IP that people enjoy, as the next big thing. I think in a lot of ways, games that nowadays kind of respect your time and tell you to go play something else for a little bit are probably better for the consumer than games that try to keep you into a constant gameplay loop. Games that try to be your one and only definitely can breed toxicity, can breed the feeling of this game needs to continuously add more things for me to do, and if they don't, then the game's failing, the game's dying. And with that being said, guys, when I play on PlayStation 5, it doesn't really seem like the game is dying. And then once again, we get into the old conversation of consoles versus PC. What kind of games do well on PC versus what kind of games do well on console? And that's a whole other conversation that many, even in the Avengers community, can look at and say, we've had this conversation many times before. Now, once again, guys, I look at Aliens Fireteam and I see a $40 game that did quite well for itself. Not without its faults, not without things that they definitely messed up on, but a solid game that delivered a fun campaign with many fun different classes, with weapons that you can play and explore and do different things with a little bit of build variety there, but not too much, and allows you to kind of sink your teeth into the Alien IP that many probably haven't really explored since Isolation, which once again did a great job on that front. I know that co-op horde mode shooters probably aren't for everybody, but I still would say if you find Aliens on sale or even at the $40 price, it is still worth it, and it's definitely a game that if you're looking for something that maybe isn't a full Back 4 Blood experience and you do enjoy the Aliens IP, I would still highly recommend it. Now, Back 4 Blood is a fuller game with a lot more to do, and I would highly recommend that as well, and they're both great games that go for something totally different. Back 4 Blood is a more richer, full experience that tries to draw you in over time with the PvP mode as well, whereas Aliens is you play it, you enjoy it, you see it as far as you can get, and then you put it down and come back for the next content drop. Once again, guys, it really does seem like the article today was really talking about trying to get more content out of Aliens, and, you know, once again, maybe a call to arms to get the Cold Iron Studios to develop more. What Cold Iron Studios have done with a team of like 54 developers or something like that has been remarkable. It's a great game that seems really fun, and because of that, we'll see what we get when the new update drops in December for Aliens Fireteam. But what about you guys? Did you read the article and did you like it? Did you think the article was fair? What did you think about Aliens Fireteam Elite? Was that a game you enjoy and play often, or what? Let me know in the comments below, guys, and I can't wait to talk to you guys more about Aliens Fireteam Elite. If you want to see more content centered around Aliens Fireteam Elite, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time here. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night. Take care, guys. Later.